Just can you call Sukhi? Can you find Sukhi? Sukhi. Okay. So just continuing on this, what we said to you earlier, what I talked to you about earlier was that being authentic, being bold, and being curious, right? Now, how many of you went to Costco? How many of you go to Costco? Okay. Right. All of us, right? How many have you seen Sukhi's samosas in Costco? Okay. Pretty much everybody. Now, when you go see something in a store, you kind of wonder, do you ever wonder, like, who must have made this? Okay? So, today we have Miss Sukhi Singh, who is the creator of Sukhi's brand that sells in hundreds of thousands of Costco stores everywhere. Hundreds of millions of Indian meals have gone into mainstream American homes. And one of my favorite things to do when I travel with Sukhi to embarrass her is we sit in some arbitrary airport waiting for a flight. I'll be sitting next to somebody who's also going to San Francisco, random person. And I ask them, oh, where are you going? I'm going to San Francisco. And then I say, oh, really? You know, like, what do you do? Blah, blah. Talk to them for 2 minutes. And I ask them, have you ever heard of Sukhi's food? And inevitably, they'll all say, yeah, of course I have heard about them. I have it in my house all the time. And I say, you know, this is Sukhi. And she's so embarrassed with it. And that person is like, what? Your food is in my freezer all the time. You are Sukhi? And we have a great conversation. I immediately get their phone number, send them a note saying, please donate to our foundation. So that's how I raise my funds. So I get to, when I'm in the Bay Area, I get to stay with Sukhi. So I thought you should all learn a little bit of thing or two about the ABCs of innovation that I talked about. With that, I invite Sukhi onto the stage. Come on over.
She is the most amazing person, and I attended the event that she did in India, TED India. I haven't forgotten it. Every part of that is still alive in my memory. It's an amazing job she does.
So, Sukhi, I thought I wanted them to hear about you started your journey in farmers markets, selling your stuff there, you know, with chutneys, and sort of an interesting journey that you've had. And for that, you have to read the book I'm going to write about her. Oh. But I want you to tell us about, you know, once you said, you know, like, I have to also say that getting into, if you are somebody who sells a product, getting into Costco, like hitting the jackpot, okay? And people try for years to get their product into Costco. Costco walked into her stall and said, I want your product. So I can't talk to her about what does it take to get into Costco, because that came very easy for you. But what I want you to talk about is, here you are selling X number of things in a farmer's market. Now when Costco comes and says, I need 50,000 of your products there is this mindset change that has to happen to doing something in a farmer's market, to selling something so much, you know, like the scale and the attention to detail, the technology that comes into it. How did you learn that?
Well, I might have got into Costco at a certain time, but I've been shopping in Costco for many years before that. So you're always aware of, once you do any product, you're always aware of other products who are there before you and what they're doing. So you just go there and collect your information from the retail scene out there, and then just put it together. You know you need packaging. You know and some things just come by instinct. It was never a question in my mind that if I make something for X number of dollars, how much am I going to sell it for? How much of it is going to make me money? But my first thing was, okay, so how much does Costco mark up? When they buy, when they buy a certain product, what do they sell it for? And that becomes a basic thing. And then packaging. Packaging is very important. So it just got put together. I don't know. I don't remember what my steps were, but they were there. They got there.
But, no, I just have to tell you, because I think when somebody does it, they don't think about it. Let me give you a little bit of a background of, when you go into packaged foods, there are rules. You have to boil it at a certain temperature. You have to cool it at a certain temperature. You have to put it at a certain temperature. There is food technology, okay? Now, she had to learn all that. What is that technology? It's not like you didn't go in knowing that. You had to learn that, how to do that, right?
That's if, yeah, of course. How are you going to sell? And it's just a story that involved. I had a deli in Oakland, and I used to make foods and put them out there. And we had the Loma Prieta earthquake, and suddenly all our grosses fell $700 a day. And we didn't know what to do. We were new to the country, new to the business. I loved doing food, but how to do it was not something, again, you bought a place, you knew you had to buy a license. You had to sell food, you knew you had to sell it refrigerated. So when I started doing this, I was making these spice mixes and sauces and putting them on my counter. And one customer came by and said, "Oh, so you're going to sell this?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you know that you have to get FDA approval?" I had no idea what FDA is in that time because this was my second year in this country. And I said, "No." He said, No, you can't sell stuff unless you have FDA approval." So that started my journey on finding out what FDA is, what I need to do. And similarly, whenever you do something, you ask questions and you get to learn them then.
So I think that comes from being curious, like asking the right questions and saying you never stop learning. And I want you to talk about, at the deli, she was running the deli in Oakland, the, economic situation was not good. And something happened one day which made you close the deli. And there's this decision that you made. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so it was Christmas Eve, and I was just sitting, a friend of mine had ordered some food, she came to pick it up from me, and I was just waiting and the dishwasher was inside doing dishes, and this man walked in, and he just held a gun to my friend's head and said, of course. I said, "Just take the money." My friend was slightly disabled, and I was very worried that she could fall down or something else happen to her. So, of course, we gave him all the money, and I said, "Go." And after that, I said, "This is not worth my life. I'm not waiting." We thought that after the earthquake, the buildings would rebuild, people would come back. But that doesn't happen. If customers are gone, when they come back, they don't come back first. And then newer places open up, and your customer base that you paid for has gone. So that day, I just decided, I said, I'm not going to wait for things to change, I'm going. So I just sold something we had bought for close to $200,000. In those days was a lot of money. We sold for $60,000 and got out. And then, by that time I was selling the sauces from my counter. I decided, I had a feeling that this was going to work. I'd already put it in a store in Berkeley, and that's when I decided, this is it. We are not going to be staying here waiting for things to change. But the few lessons that I learned over there was I was not going to pay for a business. I was going to start it from scratch. I was not going to do a location business. I was going to go get my customer. So these are things that you learn from your mistakes, and if you learn the mistakes, you learn from them, you're ahead. If you don't learn from them, that's when the problem comes. So then I went out doing this. Is that what you wanted to know?
So I wanted to say, actually it's something that I learned from her changed our business strategy a lot, because whatever you learn from one business can be applied to other business also. The thing she told me that stayed with me was that I decided not to wait for the customer to come to me. I'm going to go to where the customer is, which is where she went to all the farmers markets. That lesson really stuck in my head, because for us, when Anu and I started this journey 20 years ago or 18 years ago, we did an annual conference like TED does, and people came to that. So we were sitting in our shop and people came. Things changed. People work from all over the place now. They don't want to do things the way they did. So that insight she had made me change our strategy. It's not about us doing an annual conference and bringing people. We should go to where things are already happening. We should go where Raji is already doing and be part of it. We should go to other places and do it. So what I want to say is that a business strategy you learn from one business can be applied to many, many things as long as you get the source of it. So to me, that line was, I'm not going to wait for the customer. I'm going to go where the customer is, was a very, very brilliant insight. Now, after you did that, Sukhi, you've grown the company. One of the things I want you to talk about is the way I met Sukhi was her daughter was working at eBay. I knew her through some friends in eBay. I met her when she was going to leave that job and join Sukhi's company. This is in like early 2000s, 2006, 7, something like that. At the peak of technology industry. So I'm like, who is somebody who's leaving a tech job to join her mom, do food business in farmers markets or something? Like I had such sketchy information about it. It seemed interesting enough. I went and met her. She introduced me to Sukhi, and I went and saw their factory, and they were like, oh, we sell like whatever $1 million worth of food or something like that. At that time, I'm like, wow, $1 million worth of Indian food they're selling. They're like amazing. And now it's like 100-fold or more. But at that time, to me, it seemed so amazing that her daughter, who was at eBay, her son, who was at Macromedia, and her older daughter, all of them left their jobs to join this business, to grow it to what it is today. So it's amazing to me, like, it's hard enough to get my son to take a piece of furniture from point A to point B. So how did she get all her kids to work together? For 15 years now, we've been working together. More than that, working together. And they all still love each other. They all still talk to each other. They have not fallen out of favors. So I want you to talk a little bit, Sukhi, about what was it to working with family and how did you keep them? I know you disagreed on things also. So how did you stay together as a family while you were working?
I think we all had the same values, and we were, first generation immigrants. We came here like everybody else with one suitcase, and you can't bring money from your own country, so you start from scratch over here. So everything we did together. That was the main thing. As I said, once we lost all this money, we could not have any more money to put places. So everything we did ourselves. All the kids were my free labor, and we thought of everything ourselves. Okay, so as Lakshmi said, Costco came to us or Whole Foods came to us. So whatever we were planning, whatever dishes I would put out, everybody would taste them, everybody would come back and say, no, change this or change that. And it just so happened that my son was the tech person, and he would make the labels or design the labels. And my younger daughter was a marketing person. She would go out, and she's the one who brought Lakshmi into my life, or brought me into Lakshmi's life, whichever way you take it. And my elder daughter was a manager. She would manage everything, and my husband did the finances. So it all fell into place together. And again, as I said, we all had the same values, and I was very lucky that my daughter quit eBay. But I asked my son, I said, so what do you find here that you're going to quit your job? I can't pay you what you're getting over there. He said, Mom, where can we think of an idea, put it together, and put it in the market within a month and see the results? I can never do this anywhere else except in my own business. And luckily, they were all interested in food. So they all came in. And it just, I don't know, we all, again, other people asked this question before too. So how is it that you all work together and you still look forward to being together over the weekends? I was just very lucky, I think.
Okay. She says lucky. I have a business, analysis of everything. I've seen in her case, no matter what, they all get together once a week. Everybody gets together. She has one-on-ones with her kids. Like she goes on a walk with the son once a week, goes to a walk with her daughter once a week. They have not lost their individual relationships in the group. And they make sure they meet as a group also. They travel together as family once a year. So there's a lot of things that are in place that ensure that happens. It doesn't happen automatically. And she doesn't know, you do this intuitively, but there's a formula for it. So my last area of question for you, Sukhi, is that now we are in the AI world. And so I remember like every time I would have a gathering, I'll have somebody like an Anand Gandhi or someone, she's like, I have no idea what they're talking about. Most of us 90% of the time don't understand what's happening in the room, but you have to keep asking questions. So we started our journey with, we have no idea what this AI is, what is it. But tell me a little bit about what are the things you discovered about AI so far and how you use it. And to this day, she's the Chief Innovation Officer of Sukhi. She keeps inventing new dishes. So since I live with her, I get to see all these things in the making. So tell me a little bit about how you're using AI now in what you're doing.
Oh, I'm not at this stage. I just see how it can make my life easier. And my son, of course, is now doing his own stuff, but he has made a program on ChatGPT for me, and I just keep calling out the ingredients and the amounts I'm putting, and ChatGPT puts it together and gives me the final recipe, something I used to take 10 hours on, I get in within minutes. And also it has found that, so then I ask it, okay, give me a 100-pound recipe of the same thing. Or I'll ask another question, what is the spice level it'll give me? So now it knows that I ask these questions, and when I put a recipe in, it straight away says, do you want me to put it together in a commercial form for you? Do you want me to put it in a place where you've got your spices separate, sauce separate? And it reduced my work by tenfold.
Okay. So we are here. I think, the only job Sukhi and I have in this room is to bring the average age of this room up. That's our only function here. But we keep showing up, So tell me, Sukhi, why are you here? Why are you interested in what the youth is doing? Why are you interested what all these people are doing?
I just want, as I remember, I asked you to come and I got some middle-aged women together, and I asked them to come and tell us and teach us what AI is. We keep hearing this AI, but in our generation, we didn't have it. In our generation, when we started off, we didn't even have calculators. I remember the first time I was in London, and my husband brought this big calculator home, and we were, wow, what does it do? Before that, it was just,
in your head.
And within a year, when we left England, the calculators had become this size. And now here, a few years ago, we were hearing AI, and now it is all around us. So I said, come and teach us what AI can do for us. So now I wanted to see how these young people are doing stuff and producing apps and things. So just to be a part of the whole system, process.
So I just want to wrap up by saying, remember I said ABC, right? You got to be authentic. So here is somebody, one thing about Sukhi is that she calls it like it is. Whether you like it or not, you'll hear what she thinks. So I have to tell you a funny story. Well, is the food set up already? No, okay, so I'll keep talking.
Oh, is that time here?
So, yeah, we are filling the gaps. So I have to tell that, I stay with Sukhi now. So first few days, she gets up in the morning, she takes a shower, gets beautifully, just like this, she dressed. I said, oh, Sukhi, where are you going? Nowhere. I'm here in the house. She dresses so nicely, and I'm like, if I'm in the house, I'm in my night dress till midday, So now I'm so scared that I have to also get ready a little nicely in the morning when I get up. But the point is that you're always ready. In the sense, it's not like, oh, the day is going. There's a certain authenticity about who you are and the way you call on things, etc. So I want to open up for, actually I want to, Aryan and Adi, take one mic. Whoever has a question, if there's another mic. Okay, because when you guys ask questions, we can't hear you. So these are our two handsome mic runners. Okay. We have this Inc. Fellows program. Anu and I run this, and we joke around. We say that we have over 250 Inc. Fellows now. This is a great way to pick the children you want to have, 1,000 people apply, we take 20 people. We say, oh, I like you. You get to be my children, So somebody else done all the work for 25, 30 years, and we just pick them. So we have, between us, 250 kids. So we have 2 more children now, very handsome, smart Berkeley people. So very expensive mic runners. Someday they are going to be making $1 million a year. You'll be sitting outside their office, be really nice to them. So what I thought is, since Sukhi is here, you can ask questions. And actually, Neeru, why don't you come back up? I cut off your questions. Come back up, please. So you have questions for Neeru, you have questions for Sukhi. You can ask. So till the food is set up, we can have a little bit of a conversation. Come on.
I have a question for Sukhi. Sukhi, I've known her for a very few weeks now, just a few weeks now, but I had an amazing conversation with her, and this question is coming up from that. I know you also as a food scientist. Tell me about how you experimented with pH of the samosas, what difficulties you faced with the health department, and how did you come with...
There are some that are trade secrets, so you can't talk about it.
Oh.
For that, you have to pay $100 million.
Such a bummer.
But now you know, even the samosas didn't just come out there on their own. There was a lot of science that went into it. That's all you need to know. Beyond that, $150 million.
Okay. So
Okay, another question.
Yeah, so, Sukhi.
Do something like, so when you go to a store and you see products on the shelf, some of them are in bottles on the shelf, some of them are in a cooler, some of them in a freezer. So I'll just give you a little basic, what is the difference. So you cannot sell things on the shelf unless your recipes have gone to the Food and Drug and they've approved them for selling at ambient temperature. The difference is temperature, right? If on the shelf, it is regular temperature. On a refrigerator, it is 40 degrees. In the freezer, it is even lower. So products have a different shelf life. So when you have to sell a product, I don't mean a spice powder or something, but a liquid of any kind, it goes in the shelf. It has to meet certain criteria, and those criteria are the acidity level and the water activity. So if a product is, acidity level is 4.5 or less, and it has to be hot packed. It has to be packed at a temperature of 160 and above. On a refrigerated item, it has to be, the temperature has to be, is the only control. But ambient temperature, it has to be water activity less than there are two measurements, pH and water activity. So water activity has to be less than 0.85 and has to be less than 4.5. If you pack it hot, it's fine. But if you're not packing it hot, then the water activity and pH both come into play. So that's how you differentiate.
Thank you, Sukhi. Thank you.
And she says she doesn't know anything, So any questions for Neeru? Sorry, I cut off earlier.
This kid has a question.
Did you, when the earthquake happened, did the deli break or it stayed?
My God, wish good. No, the deli didn't break, but other buildings around where our customers came from, they got damaged and the customers moved out into different areas. So I lost my customers, not the deli, which was a problem because if I had damaged the deli, I would get some government aid. But nothing happened to the deli.
Any other questions?
We've got one here.
Yeah.
Hi. Oh, hi. Hi. For anyone out here who has a new idea, what's your advice on where to start with a new idea? What should you start to think about as it's coming together?
Depends on the idea, no? Depends, it's an IT idea, or it's a food idea, or it is book. I mean, anything in the world you can start. There's everything. So it depends on what kind of thing you want to start.
So let's say, actually there is, no matter what you want to do, is it that? Okay. Like in her case, again, as an outsider, you can see what she did. Any idea, if you're first, you have to do it yourself and try it out. Whether it's a book or a company or, in her case, food. She just made the sauces and believed that somebody is going to buy it. She didn't wait for some market research that told her, yes, somebody will buy it and I will guarantee you this sales. No. You have to take the chance and you go out there and say, oh, looks like somebody likes this sauce better than that sauce, etc.
Yeah. You will do something which only if the people around you are going to say, oh, you write beautifully, you must start writing. Or you cook beautifully, you should do this. So you hear that around you, and that's what makes you take the first step. And that is your first market research, because the people around you, your family around you, your friends, who are going to say that, do this. Now you keep telling me, write a book. I don't know. So, but that's what happens. And that's how. And I'm sure when, Neeru's, she's in the education field, she must have got people saying, oh my gosh, you should get your ideas out to a wider audience, and other children also should benefit. And that gives you the confidence of going out and doing it.
So why don't you?
Actually, other people did not tell me to do this.
Who?
Other people did not tell me to do the education.
But you got the feeling that you need to share this with other people, right?
It was myself. Then I found people who cared about the same ideas, and there were many.
You saw how that many more people, right?
Right. That's first of all, I think you have to know what it is that you're passionate about, that you want to make a difference. And only then can you, that's the first step. So if you have the first step, and then you want to, kind of say, what should I do? If you're a young person, I would start with your parents or your teacher, and maybe, where is she? Raji. Go to Raji. She's a great source for young people to talk about. Who?
There's a question.
Yes.
Hi, this question is probably for both of you, both Sukhi ji and Neeru. Regarding where STEM is going, what is one non-technical skill, non-STEM literacy related skill that you think every youth has to develop right now?
You know what? No matter what, I think you need to know how you can think logically, how you can express yourself. Remember, people used to laugh about, what are you going to do with an English degree? Today, when you think about AI, the first thing that you had to do was to learn how to prompt. Prompt is a very important skill because it teaches you to think about what is it that you want? What should you be asking? What are the kind of questions? And everyone was saying, oh, children are going to cheat with AI. But the reality is they're learning the skills of asking questions, getting the answers, refining those answers, and it's a new way of learning. So now it's not about STEM, or it's about how are you going to use this thing.
Yeah, that was my example. What's the non-technical, non-literacy related skill that you think the youth of today needs? Because everything is accessible to them. They can build an app as early as like 4th grader, right? So what's the one skill from your experience of employing probably or working with a lot of youngsters right now that you see in the next 10, 20 years that kids have to develop?
Communication.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That's collaboration. You have to collaborate, you have to communicate. Those are important skills still.
What do you think?
All right, we've got another question here.
Hi, thank you for sharing your inspirational journey. And since you two have been at it for so long, Sukhi and Neeru, my question is, when you are taking the ChatGPT recipe, or you are creating a lesson plan or training your AI tutor, how do you gather feedback from your power users to maybe iterate on the idea or constantly keeping improving the system for your users so they keep coming back? So yeah, if you can share a little bit about that.
So for us, we do have info at CK12. You can actually send us messages. So we'd love to hear from you. That's the best method to come back. And I encourage everybody to use CK12 platform and give us feedback. Because it's very important for us to know what worked, how it worked, why it didn't work, then we can fix it.
We've got a question from this student here.
So I know that you met every week, and I know you probably had some issues and conflicts that you had to resolve. So how did you choose what issues that you would take in and the issues that you would delegate to others?
Are you asking?
Yeah. Yeah, Miss Singh, yeah.
When you said meet only once a week, what say?
So I know like you met every week, and there was some
Talking about the family?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, and so there were some conflicts that came up. So how did you delegate the conflicts or like the issues? Like how did you know who could solve it the best, and what issues that you would take in to try to solve?
Yeah, how did you solve your conflicts? No, not scared. Like,
You know, the conflicts were never about the products. The conflicts were, okay, so I think I'm going to put the shelf over here during the show and put the products here, or they're going to be put at another place. We never had conflicts because everybody's goal was the same, to get the products to sell and have the best image out there. So these are very small conflicts. They were not really conflicts which would affect our sales or something, or how we are going to do something. We all sat down and put it, and we kind of, everybody had their area of expertise, and we took that for sure. We followed it.
I just want to say they met once a week as a family for a dinner, but they worked together every day. So the conflict didn't have to wait for once a week. And secondly, this is something at that time when I worked at Intel, our CEO, Andy Grove, used to say, you come together as a group, you discuss everything. Everybody won't agree, but once you agree on an action, you either agree and commit or disagree and commit, but you have to commit to that. And then if there are any small conflicts, because they worked all day together, they could resolve it very quickly. But the once a week was just family getting together for a meal, not for work. Somebody at the front had a question? Yeah, go ahead.
So, what were some like problems that you faced while trying to what were some problems you faced while trying to start Sukhi's Food? Like any like prompt problems or anything? Like any like challenges you faced while trying to make it?
Challenges are there all the time. You know, you just have to find a way of dealing with it. Challenges, I'll tell you one challenge that I got. I had sent my products in, I don't know if you'll understand this, but anyway. So we have food service. The main idea is to sell your products, right? So I had sent my products to Hewlett-Packard, the company who ran the food in Hewlett-Packard. So they said you need to be approved. So I sent my products in, and they said we can't approve you because you don't meet certain standards over here. So I said, so what are your standards? Because I use the same ingredients from the same vendors as you use in your kitchens. Oh, it doesn't pass this. It's a raw product, and it doesn't get to what I was saying, the pH and all that. So I said, I had to kind of clarify it with them. It's not a raw product. You are going to cook with it before you give it to all your people in your company. So I had to fight it. I couldn't just let it go. Once they said no, I said, no, you go and reason it out with them. And it was a big challenge, because that was a big stepping stone for me to be able to go and sell all across the country. If I didn't get that approval, I wouldn't be able to go. But I didn't take a no. I worked on it, and I got them to understand it. And so you always will find a way around it.
Yeah, so just one more thing. What do you think, have you to made any subtopics or any new kinds of apps to help you sell your food and get it to others, like either scheduling apps or anything like that?
I don't use them, but the planning people do. The people who schedule all the work, they use their apps.
So you know something, these kind of things you're talking about or asking about, these apply everywhere. Every business you will do, you will have problems. You will have processes that you need to kind of think about. So I would suggest, are you thinking of starting a business? Yeah? So I would highly recommend you go to, the ChatGPT or Claude, whatever you use, AI, and ask, what are the things I should be aware of for the particular business you want to do? Yeah.
Wait. What's some advice that you would give for somebody who's trying to start a business or like a app?
Somebody who wants to try
Start an app.
Yeah.
Well, start, right? Start building. Do you know what you want to do?
Yeah.
What is it?
I'm trying to create it's trying to help trash around the world.
You want to manage the trash around the world?
No, I want to like create a product that can help minimize trash like plastic and like pollution.
That would be a great product, by the way. That's much needed. So you should seriously think about it. What I would do, maybe, Raji, you could find someone in that business you can set him up with as a mentor, right? So that you can then talk to them and they can help you think through it. Don't give up.
I already have a product in that, by the way.
You already have it? Wow. So you should tell. Well, you can talk to me. I would be happy to talk to you afterwards.
So she's going to be over there, so you should go talk to her.
All right,
Tell
thank
her
you.
your product.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you because you're thinking along the right things. Yeah, learn because things are going to change, but start learning about these things.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to see young people like you wanting to learn.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So my question is for Sukhi ji. So how the shelf life of food products is decided based on the packaging? It may be your trade secret, but just you can give us little idea about it.
Say, yeah.
The shelf life of food products, how it is decided.
Okay. So, we make like, yeah, I think so. So, depends on the item. What you want to do is that are you going to be selling it frozen? Are you going to be selling it refrigerated? Or are you going to sell it, this thing? So, the product goes through a whole system. We'll make for example, we are selling refrigerated. So, we will make a certain amount, date it, and then every week we will open one. First is sensory. Does it taste good? Then we will send it to the lab, and then they will test for all microbial analysis of it and see if it is right. So where it starts deteriorating, first, sensory. It doesn't matter, the product could be safe to eat, but if it doesn't taste good, that determines the shelf life.
So
And there are guidelines.
We physically
actually.
do it. We have to, the shelf life is nothing that you can send someplace and get it done. You physically, it has to go through that process of how long you want the product to last.
But there are rules. The government tells you this can be there only for 3 months, 6 months, like that.
No,
or
it
you
depends
decide?
on the microbiological testing of the product.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Again,
products.
it could be safe to eat, but it won't, like for example, I'll tell you the samosas, whatever we sell them. They are microbiological good to eat for 5 days, 6 days, but they don't taste good. So there itself, it'll say, okay, the shelf life is only 3 days or 4 days.
So for products which are like 1 year shelf life, right?
1
Usually
year,
frozen
1.5
products do
year.
have. So
Yeah.
do you taste it after 1 year?
They will be kept for that long, yeah. Again, as I said, before that, it doesn't matter, the taste goes off.
Yeah, right.
So you can't sell them. That determines the shelf life.
And so are other factor texture and are those factors also considered besides taste?
Say that again.
So other factors like texture of the food.
Absolutely.
Everything is
Absolutely,
considered
yeah.
for that?
Yeah, you have to. As a manufacturer, I can't say it is safe to eat, keep eating it, right?
Right, yeah,
So you will say, okay, after this date, stop. This is the shelf life.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, and Raji, can you just find Raji, please? No, not yet. Yeah. Okay. Any other? We'll continue with the questions.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll go next. So, as someone at UC Berkeley and someone who runs some nonprofit initiatives to support students back home in Minnesota, my question is targeted at Neeru Khosla. And so, as someone, like I said, who runs an education nonprofit for the Minnesota students, I would love to know how you guys measure your KPIs, your key performance initiatives. In other words, how do you measure the success of your students beyond just the number of people that enroll? What are ways that you keep in touch with them to make sure that the product has worked for them?
So that's a great question. The problem is that our project has been a long-term project, and we've been changing the project, not the project, but the product. We've been improving it. Because first we started, so every stage, every phase of the product had a particular KPI. right? How many flex books were created? How many people, the first thing everyone does is how many people are using it? How many people are creating? How many people are using the stuff that's created, right? You start measuring these kinds of things. Those are the basic things, right? Now we are at a stage that we can actually look much deeper into the various measurements that we can use. And actually, Ravi heads the data team at this point, and basically his team is looking deeper into the pathways students are using. How many, what products they're using. As we put in the heart of our system, which was an adaptive system, how many people are using that? What questions they're getting wrong, we can tell the students more, Ravi, you want to add something else?
For each product line, you need to look at what are those success metrics, and you want to keep a close eye on those. And we try to do that, be it our student, be it the student tutor or the teacher assistant. So we try to make sure that we are measuring it and also experimenting around it.
Thank you, guys.
So one last question, if anybody has, and then we are going to have Raji come and introduce. Oh yes, Kannan, yes.
Okay, so this is for Sukhi. So food is a extremely human touch space, right? We love our mothers, grandmothers, mom, dad, anybody's cooking, right? We love going to restaurants where we are served by, people who, do with a smile, and we like all of that stuff. We go to a food truck or a street side shop, the human emotion is always involved, right? But the algorithm is coming to the food industry, right? AI, robots. So how do you see it all panning out, right? Would it be reduced to a state where it will be very rare to see that human touch with respect to food preparation and food delivery?
So, it's funny. We've been talking about AI, and I was hearing something. They said all jobs are going to be replaced by AI. 99% jobs are going to be replaced by AI. I said, well, thank God they can't replace food. We'll need people all the time to cook food. I don't think AI can cook food for you, right? So we are safe with food. And
maybe robots can.
Not really. I don't know. I haven't seen a robot can cook food right now. They can pick up stuff and put it here, or say, okay, you program it to put 4 ounces of the product. It'll keep putting it. But that's about it. I haven't seen a robot that can cook food.
Actually, I have. In China, they have these robots that are cooking for people in their homes. So it's coming.
No,
but
they're cooking, but they're not.
They're not replacing the food.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The sensory part of it, I don't know.
Well, I think the one thing that I must say as a closing remark, it doesn't matter what's happening. You still need to learn and be educated. So I think that the most important thing that we can do is educate ourselves. Like this gentleman here was asking, that's what it's all about if you want to keep advancing. No, it's true. I'm glad you were asking these questions. So if you want to make that progress, we still have to keep learning. So don't stop learning. Okay?
What they did when they were now they are in 6th grade, so they did in the 5th grade. Okay, can you hear me? So that got already selected in the international level, the project, what they did in the...
That's wonderful. So I want to wrap up by saying that I think we have to, that's okay, yeah. So when you say learn, in our time learning was go to school, get a degree. Now learning is doing. So, go to things that going to teach you why you are learning that and not just what you're learning. So with that, I want Raji to come on. You guys stay here, you come and tell us what they're going to be doing and what certificate they're giving and why, because it's a great story.